What's up, everyone? So, in light of the newest murder that happened, I believe in Minnesota, it wasn't Minneapolis, but Minnesota. Um, what we can expect to see is this man's history, criminal history, splashed onto news pages and websites everywhere for these apologists and defenders of murderers to use as fodder. We saw it with Ahmaud Arbery, that he had a history of this, and that. And it's like none of that exonerates murdering somebody. Why aren't we looking at the backgrounds of these murderers? I understand that they've passed police training and things like that, but somewhere there has to be something that speaks to why that man was comfortable enough to basically break the neck of somebody or at least cut his ear off long enough to cause fatal damage. There's something in that. And the people who stood around and backed him. As law officers, at some point, regardless if that's your partner or not, there has to be a point in which you say, we're here to serve, not terrorize, not murder. And the other ones that were there are just as guilty in my mind. It's no different than if I were to hop in a car with three people and one guy gets out and beats someone to death in traffic. Guess what? They're going to charge us all with that. The background, parade campaign that they will make against the deceased is cowardice at best. But let's compare it to rape, and I always will draw those lines between rape and race. So, when a woman has been sexually assaulted, we have come to find it egregious that we would drag out her sexual history because it should have nothing to do with saying, no, I did not want to involve myself in sexual activity with that one person. So, if that's the case, then why is it okay in this case? And a lot of times I think it's just the worth of the person in question. And black men have a very devalued worth in this country, historically. For those who don't know, at one point we were deemed, I believe it was 3/5 of a person. So why aren't we looking at it in that capacity? What this man did in the past means it was in his past, and it should have been one of those things that wasn't brought to the reason because, again, these officers didn't know that at the time. And if they did, it still shouldn't have been held against him. We've seen other people commit crimes that have been taken in custody, and so it begs the question why this can't happen for all citizens. The training is obviously there. They've got the weaponry in most cases to subdue a person. So why is it that it's okay to kneel on a man's neck for 8 consecutive minutes? I mean, really, why? And then if we are going to start seeing people's history as to somehow give credibility as to why it was okay to murder them, then let's stop doing that with rape. Let's just throw women under the bus and say, you know what? You had sex before, so clearly you were asking for it again. You got that DUI that one time, so you like to party, so maybe you were drunk this time. Let's just start doing that across the board, but we're not going to do that. And we shouldn't do that. But there still comes a point in time where we have to be able to say, this isn't where we need to be going. And this isn't going to be solution minded for anybody. And it does no justice for that man's family, any man's family, or any person's family who meets their demise in this fashion. It gains no trust with the police station. It gains no trust through the laws, through the legislation. And it only really doubles down on the notion that we are not only incarcerated at that disproportionate rate, but being killed at it too, especially in circumstances where somebody could be subdued with a taser gun, or just, I don't know, four men could hold down another man until he's handcuffed. So there's something to be said, and it's a dangerous precedence that we're facing, continuing to face. These are modern day lynchings. You don't have to cut that wind out of a man and take his breath with a rope anymore. You can do it with your knee in the middle of the street in plain view of other people. Guys, this is tragic, and it's going to continue to be tragic until more people start standing up. And those of you who are not in this demographic, don't apologize to us. Don't write in the comments when people post things, "I'm so sorry, it shouldn't be this way." You can't be just against racism. You have to be anti-racist. You have to fight against it. You can't ask people to, admonish the rape culture. What does that mean? And then not turn the fair play and say, we're going to support this as well. If we're going to do that for something like for the rape culture, we have to do it for the race culture as well. I know that they come with different circumstances, but still, we're fighting the same bully. Fire is hot. You have to put it out, sometimes in different methods, but it will still burn your house down if you don't attend to it. So this is a case of justice. This is a case of equality. This is a case of civil and human rights for everybody. And that's just where I can leave it, guys. So please think deeply, think long about the actions that you take, the words that you speak, and where you want things to go from here, because it may not be you, but it might be your children's spouse, might be your future children, grandchildren, I should say, possibly children for some of you. So when we're talking about the ability for ethnicity to transfer, this is where we are actually all one race, because you can't just specify to say, well, that can never be us. Yeah, it possibly can. And as the classism divide widens, it could just be that through money. It may not be the color green. It may certainly be, or it may not be just the color of skin. It may be the color green. So, guys, think long and hard about it, because, again, we're all fighting the same bully. Peace, love, unity, solidarity.